Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online certification course on logistics and supply chain management. So now we'll start our discussion on very important and we can say the latest topic, which is the supply chain digitalization. Now maybe 2-3 sessions will discuss about how we can go for making our supply chain more smart, sustainable, resilient, right? And the very basics start with supply chain digitalization. So in this session, we will see the evolution of digital supply chain, what are the key components, and then we will talk about how we can implement this, what are the factors which are responsible and factors which are forcing us to go for supply chain digitalization, and we will see some challenges. We will discuss a couple of cases, one in healthcare, how we can go for digitalization, and then we will discuss the very famous case of Dell supply chain, how over the years they are innovating their supply chains to meet the customer demands. So supply chain digitalization, obviously as the name suggests, here we will try to replace all the manual things with the digital solutions, right. So implementing advanced digital products and services into different aspects of the supply chain just to streamline operations, improve management and increase visibility. Improve management means overall management of the supply chain, so that we can be more productive, we can be more efficient, we can be more error free, right. So that is the basic function when we are advancing our supply chains. So digitized data management is the first very important thing, and we will say the challenge as well, because when we are talking about the digital supply chain, we are almost going with one parallel digital world where we will represent all the physical aspects in your digital form, right. So obviously then huge amount of data will be generated, right, and then this data we need to process this timely data, and then we need to make the decisions based on this data. A very small example here we will take inventory management software. Let us say if you are surfing internet and then in between you liked some product and then you want to order that product online, right. So once you are ordering the product or even searching, that information is also going to all the stakeholders in the supply chain, why that particular customer got interested in just viewing that product. What may be the appealing point to that particular customer, or the behavior or the nature of the customer is like that, because you are tracking all the records, what customer is doing, you have full information. So what is going to be the appealing point? Then he is clicking on your ad, then he is placing the order. That information is also shared with the distribution channel, with the manufacturing unit, with the raw material suppliers, with the warehousing management team, with the transportation management team quickly, so that you can make the quick decisions based on that real time information, right. So when we are saying that we have that automatic system, digital platform, so that means it will not take time to transfer data from one point to other point. So inventory can be managed at very efficient level. You need not to manage high level of inventory, and then high cost will be there. So because now you are real time, you are tracking the data, you can maintain at little lower level, because you are getting the accurate and exact information on the point of sales, right. So again, if you are tracking the sales records, customer information, that will help you to demand forecast and obviously plan all the distribution functions and plan your supply chain throughout, right. Just go through quickly the evolution of this digital supply chain. So obviously earlier we were heavily relying on manual processes, documentation was there, and we have seen that in some small organizations still what we are doing, that if we want to find out the demand at country level, so what we are doing in small villages or maybe region wise, we have defined some area wise, some sale managers or salesperson, they are collecting the data, we are combining that data for one maybe district, and then district level all the data will be collected, then state wise we will be compiling the data, then the country wise we will be compiling the data. You just imagine from one step to other step to the third step, and we have seen that will be effect also where the information starting, the exact information is like this, and when we are passing through multiple channels, so information gets amplified because you are also keeping some safety stock with you. If initially you recorded 10 pieces of demand, you are placing order for 12 with the distributor is placing order for 15, this keeps on going. We have discussed in bullwhip effect, right? So these were some of the inaccuracies, and you can say because limited visibility was there throughout the supply chain. And then the advent of computerization in late 20th century, and we have seen the very first software. Now we are quite matured using these kind of enterprise resource planning or SAP solutions are there, where you can keep all the data record in your system, right? So if I am here, I am operating or maybe managing 10 different plants, right, or 10 different supply chains. So while sitting here, I can view whatever activity is going on throughout that supply chain. Even within one organization, how many lots we received in the raw material, like in particular lot, how many items were there, how many rejected will send back to vendor, then for how many vendors we made the payment today, how many purchase orders we placed, how many manpower, even everything is going on record in digital format during your using this your enterprise resource planning platform. So that means sitting here, I can find out quickly what are the bottlenecks, where we are performing low today, what are the reasons, where are the breakdowns, everything in real time I can view sitting in my office at one place, right? So same is the case here also, but you can see ERP systems provided a foundation for digitalization. They often lack real-time visibility and agility, right? So because at this point of time also, whatever we are, if you are planning for tomorrow, right, how much inventory is required, raw material, then how much we are going to produce, that you are planning for tomorrow. Today evening we are sitting here, right? So what is happening, if anything goes wrong during that night or any major shift is there in the market, tomorrow we'll go with whatever plan we have decided. So the dynamic condition of the market we need to understand, we need to configure, and this well captured when we are now talking about e-commerce market, right? Then I just quoted that example. Even if customer is just going through any social media website, he is checking his messages inbox, right, or maybe some other meaningful information, so there on the left hand side or right hand side many ads are coming, and then maybe one appealing ad was there and I just clicked on that ad, and that information is also recorded by these stakeholders, why I clicked that, what was that so appealing that I clicked that ad, and obviously all subsequent steps you can just follow, right? So with this online platform and electronic data interchange, the plus point here is I need not to compile data at district level and need then send to at state level and then at country level. So just whenever, and we have different touch points, right? So if customer is coming asking for something, that is also recorded, and then if he is not purchasing that product, that information is also recorded, why he did not purchase that product. Maybe the issue was with the delivery, he wants delivery within 2 hours, and we were saying as per our policy it will be delivered by tomorrow. So that information is also there and electronically immediately shared with the top management that customer are now preferring within 2 hours. So we need to change our policy, right? So this is one example. And e-commerce platform, you know about that now, because majorly we are purchasing the very routine items. You can just go through randomly, you have selected all the items, already they are there in your basket, anytime you can replace the order, right? So but yes, now we have matured in that, and you can say the penetration of this technology up to that extent, where we have different platforms, we have different softwares for managing everything. Warehouse management software we talked about, transportation management software, and just you see, in warehouse, if you are maintaining, let's say, inventory for 10,000 items, so if anyone is coming and asking for one item, maybe you will take time to just recollect, to check your records and everything, right? If just there is one interactive screen and you will just put your item there, and immediately information is coming how many units are there. Not only that information is required, let's say the customer is demanding that product, so where that product is right now, that also you can locate. So that will help you to minimize the manpower. Those many people are not required. Just very simple example, we are visiting hospitals. Now we are going to doctor room, they are examining and then they are prescribing some medicines, and we are going with that medicine, that prescription to some pharmacy, right? Or within the hospital also we have pharmacies. We are submitting, then they are checking, and then sometime long queue is there, we are there, and sometime maybe same salt is not available, or maybe same salt is available with the other company, so then that discrepancy is there, right? And we are not educated enough or informative enough that we can decide whether we should go for that medicine or not. So why don't that happen when we are visiting the doctor? There is only one system, doctor is entering the prescription there, and whatever available options, doctor knows better, so he can pick that option. He picked one paracetamol is there, right? So he picked how many tablets I need to take. Maybe the another tablet he can just pick and then enter there. Now he is giving me instructions how to use that. In between, all that information will go to back end warehouse, and my packet within seconds it will be packed and will be delivered at doctor table only. So why that pharmacy? 10 people are required in the pharmacy, and then you are standing in the long queue. So that, and then again I told you what can be the limitation of that system. So how we can go up to that extent? So these many software systems are there, only thing is where up to what level we are utilizing this plus point. Things are there, but utilization is a problem. So again, now big data analytics and cloud computing. When we are talking about digitalizing your any platform, it's not only supply chain. If you digitalize your manufacturing, then automated manufacturing plants we have. So that means whatever steps you are doing, activities you are doing in the manufacturing unit, you are generating huge amount of data. Sometimes defects are happening, sometimes the raw material component you are using are damaged by the extra pressure put by that particular machine, right? Or anything is going on that particular workstation, right? So you are recording all the activities. That means that much huge amount of data you are generating, you need to store at the cloud, and then you need to take decisions based on that data. Obviously you need to go for the predictive analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and then I need to know, okay, now there is problem coming with this raw material component. Immediately information will be shared with the vendor from where that raw material has come, right? Maybe for same component we have 5 different vendors, but your automated plant manufacturing system, it can easily identify that this particular component has come from XYZ vendor, and this is the problem with the raw material. Maybe the raw material he is using, he needs to change the grade of the raw material, he needs to change the metal, the whatever he is manufacturing, right? So these decisions are quick decisions, and Internet of Things will solve your all these problems, because when all the stakeholders are connected through that, right? Cyber physical system, IoT sensors are there, embedded system, all the facilities are embedded, right? So real time you are capturing the data, and then you can make the informed decision like the example I quoted. So if we'll talk one step further, So then we'll talk about how we can implement the blockchain supply chain, right, where all the stakeholders are connected in such a way that it is a decentralized system, immutable system. No one can, just like an interrupt in that system, right. So it is error proof system, and you can ensure the safety security of the data, right. So that those are the plus points when we are talking about blockchain. Robotics, we have seen in the session of warehouse management how we can deploy robots to identify the inventory, to manage the stocks without any error, right. And then whenever we need to pick any item out of 10,000 items listed on your shelf, within no time your robot can pick that item, right. And then we have autonomous vehicles which are moving through those shelves within the warehouse, right, and just to keep the updated inventory when you need to again reorder with the vendors, right. So everything is maintained with that. So these can be, the plus point advanced version when we are talking about supply chain digitalization. These are some of the factors: technologies, e-commerce integration, cloud computing, right, how we are generating large amount of data, right, and artificial intelligence, we are collecting the data, and when machine learning, we want our machine should learn about the behavior or whatever is happening, whatever we want to modulate, right. So whatever is happening around the environment, so that we can configure or we can forecast. Even if you want to forecast a weather, you also can predict the conditions, weather conditions, right. So that in advance we can plan whatever, if we are planning the supply chain activities, right. So blockchain, we talked about Internet of Things, and digital twins, where you have parallel digital world for your physical things, right. So these are some of the digital transformation, the technologies we are using. So we'll just discuss in detail what are the key components of supply chain digitization. First is data analytics and big data. Like I quoted, we have set up different touch points. If customer is coming to your store, that is one touch point, we are generating the information. Why customer is picking one product, not other product? We have different products on the shelf, and then he picked one product, he then again dropped that product back on the shelf because he did not like, because of something, right. He observed something but he did not like, and he placed that product back on the shelf. Why that happened? So this is one touch point, we are generating the information. On the billing counter, again touch points are there where the bills are being generated, and you are again collecting the information. Through your distribution network, again many touch points are there, where your packet is right now, it is out for delivery, it is damaged during the delivery, or the returns are happening. All those information is again generated. So big data we are generating, right. And then through your distribution network, in the manufacturing also you have touch points, and then with the raw material suppliers, with the stakeholders, with the industry, with the competitors, everywhere you have touch points, right. So right now maybe the market is this one, right. Why only these many customers are coming to us, right. So how, if this is the case, how the other player is growing so big, whether our customers are shifting to that particular segment or some others customers are shifting to that particular segment. Why that is happening? There is fixed pattern, people are shifting from one, maybe from my brand to other brand. Why that is happening, right. So means these all touch points are there where we are generating the data, and we need to handle that data. Internet of Things. So we are deploying sensors, RFID tags, smart devices to collect the real time information. Very small example, I will quote here how we can implement Internet of Things. Let us say I have smart kitchen within my house, right. Now because we are consuming every day, we are consuming butter, and every day we are consuming juice, right. Now I am placing this butter and juice in my refrigerator. Now my refrigerator knows that if I will place the order today for butter or juice, it will take minimum 1 day or 2 days, whatever is the time period, right. So whenever these two products reaches at the means maybe the safety stock, I need not to interfere, because whatever butter I am buying, the brand is fixed, right. Whatever apple juice I am buying, the brand is fixed, the quantity I am buying, that is also fixed, right. So when it is fixed, why I need to interfere every time? Whenever there is safety stock is going down, right, below the safety stock level, my refrigerator should automatically order the butter and juice for me. It's so simple, right? So that means this is IoT. We have this system and where we have smart refrigerator and things will be automated. In industry also we can take care of our inventories in that way, because we are, when we are talking about routine buying things, right, or routine any activity, then your robots or Internet of Things or these techniques can help you in a better way. Then cloud computing. So cloud computing provides scalability, flexibility and accessibility, enabling real-time collaboration and information sharing among the supply chain partners, right? So we can, whatever data is there, we can just share that data through the cloud with our all the stakeholders. Maybe as distribution or transportation agency, I need to plan my transportation capacity. The warehousing partner need to plan the warehousing capacity. The raw material suppliers need to plan the raw material, how much raw material they need to ship tomorrow or today or today evening, right? So these decisions you can make. And then blockchain technology. So this is secure and transparent transaction, right? So it will be shared through all the stakeholders in that supply chain, right? And this is trust, we can easily trust on this, and because this is blockchain technology, right? So decentralized data storage will be there, and this is immutable records, right? Digital twins. So I was talking about the digital twins, creating digital representation of physical assets, processes or system within the supply chain, right? So whatever physically is going on, we have one parallel digital system and we can review all the time. We can just turn on our system and we can see how the things are flowing, how the manufacturing is happening, that we can do that. Robotic process automation, where we are doing the repetitive routine activities that through robots we can do. So in manufacturing, most of the things we are doing repetitively. In R&D only we are coming up with the new things, new designs, and then we are testing, right? There may be human intervention is required, but when we are talking about the commercialization at large scale, obviously robots can be deployed, and then it will be error free, right? If robots are doing, if you will do the automation, obviously will produce less errors as compared to human beings. Once it will start producing error, so that means you need to stop the production there only, because after that it will continuously produce errors only. But in case of human, maybe now he produced some rejected material, next step he will produce okay, next 5 material will be okay, but then again he can commit the mistake. So it is very difficult in that way. So continuously you are watching, your process quality control is on work that they need to investigate continuously. Supply chain visibility platform. So for real time data insights, obviously you need to maintain the visibility throughout the supply chain. Where is your raw material lot right now? What is the status of the production? If production is finished, why it is not dispatched till now? So if it is dispatched, where the lot is right now, when the customer will receive, and on the other hand you are engaging the customer also with that information when you are going to receive that, right? So it's a collaborative platform where, because you need real-time data information sharing, right? So that will only happen when you are collaborating with all the stakeholders. And this, the benefit of digital supply chain, smart supply chain, you can reap only when all the stakeholders are connected through that supply chain. It's not that we have digital supply chain but only manufacturer is taking the benefit out of that, means of information or informed decisions they are making. So this is again, when we are talking about digital supply chain, smart supply chain, cyber security is something that is a big question. So obviously threats and attacks are there, how we can include encryption, authentication, access control and continuous monitoring, so that if anything goes wrong, how we can retain that. So obviously then we need to go for quick backup things. If something goes wrong, we can retrieve our data or information. Supply chain network optimization, right? So optimization means optimize the design and configuration of supply chain network. So again we have discussed this in detail. If you want to set up the warehouse location, So how you can set up the warehouse location? So obviously we have one session, complete session on deciding the warehouse location, right, where you will consider all the factors, the demand, the supply, the local conditions, right, and then the space available, then the economic parameter, then the social parameter, sustainability angle, all everything you will figure out, and then you will say this is the best location, right. Again, example of supply chain network optimization: during transportation you are using, a GPS system just to advise you the best possible route as per the minimum cost, as per the minimum time, right, the weather condition, the obstruction on the road, so that you can real time you can view that. Predictive maintenance, I talked about implementing IoT in manufacturing system, a kind of smart factory, right. So when you are just observing the behavior of every machine, so that means you can also predict when that machine will go out of the parameters, right. So wear and tear will be there, and in advance you can find out and you can go for predictive maintenance. So real time tracking and tracing, not only the movement of the goods, the functionality of the equipments you are using, the machines you are using, that also you can track, and that will help you to plan your predictive maintenance. Supplier collaboration platform. So obviously we need to ensure the communication, collaboration and information sharing through this network digital supply chain with all the stakeholders. Talking about stakeholder, customer is another very important stakeholder. How we are engaging? You are placing order with the Zomato, so next moment you are getting the confirmation your restaurant has approved the order, accepted the order. Now they will show that now he is preparing the order. Now after some time, 15 or 20 minutes, you will get the intimation that your courier partner has picked the order, he is on the way. Let's say there is rain, and then you will get the intimation that because of this heavy rain, now your packet will be delivered little late, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So every information they are engaging the customer, and you are getting the every information, right. So in that way you feel secure also. Okay, maybe delay is there, but this is the condition right now. Sustainability and environmental management. Obviously when we are talking about smart supply chain, digital supply chain, and we are like the example we quoted, that inventory management, we need not to maintain that much inventory. So that means when you are utilizing less resources, less consumption of resources, you are degrading less environment. Simple, right. So you will be sustainable, socially you will be sustainable, economically also, because per unit cost will decrease, you will be sustainable, and environmental also you can. And again, if you are a kind of organization, you want to be educate your customer how much footprint you are leaving when you are producing this product, that information also you can share with your customers, right. So if you have changed the packaging style just to ensure that can be recycled properly, that information also you can share with the customer. Customer will feel more happy and satisfied with you that you have taken this environmental related initiatives. So complete this record, you can track, you can see that right now we are producing this much carbon footprint. Now we are going for the next step where we will be renovating our supply chain, our packaging, and we will be reducing this much carbon footprint. So supply chain resilience and risk management, because we in advance know that if there will be any disaster, natural disaster, all political scenario, or anything goes wrong, we can predict that. So obviously we can plan in that way. Our supply chain will be more resilient to any disruption, right. Disruptions will happen every day, right. So what you will do if there is strike with one vendor? Now that supply is interrupted, but the problem here is that you are getting information little late. So if that moment only you can sense that this is going to happen tomorrow, because already there is something going on in that particular factory, right. So you can sense that you can diversify your flow of the material or your things through some other channel. You can prepare for that. Regulatory compliance and governance, you are keeping the record of everything, and then you can meet the regulatory whatever compliance or governance regulations are there, all the documentation, digital record is there, you are ready all the time. You need not to focus or you set up one separate team to prepare all the documents to be submitted to those regulatory authorities. So continuous improvement and innovation, when we are talking about, we are improving this transparency, real time information sharing, data decision making, right? AI we are using, machine learning we are using, IoT, big data analytics, predictive analytics we are using. Obviously every day that information is being used to innovate, renovate your product. And when we are talking about, these are the 5 steps, right? How we can implement digital this transformation in the supply chain. So first is, you need to define the vision. Your vision should be aligned, your organization vision should be aligned with your overall objectives. If you are going for digitalization, you need to assess the resources with the existing system. What is your legacy system, right? So what you are doing right now, what is the need, why you need to shift to the digitalization, and what are the plus points if you will shift that, because that is required when you will manage your workforce, because any change will be registered by your existing workforce, because they also need to develop their new technical skills, right? So if you will convince them that we are facing these problems right now with whatever system we have right now, we need to implement this new system. Obviously you can convince them and you can educate them, train them for the new skills, and then you need to collect the data, make the analysis that if we will implement this system right now, these are the parameters, performance parameters. After implementing, this is going to happen, right? Unify data and processes. So to achieve complete end-to-end visibility across the supply chain, obviously you need to develop that unified platform where you will collect all the data, information, whether it is related to your transportation network, it is related to your warehouse, it is related to assignment problem, it is related to what to manufacture, how to manufacture, where to outsource, how much, in what order, sequencing, scheduling, everything, that data you have, right? And then you can define the processes, right? Automate the planning process. See, every time human intervention is not required if there is any fluctuation in demand, right? If there is fluctuation in demand, you can see either the demand is increasing or the demand is decreasing, right? Whatever way. So there should be automated planning, right? And then this information should be quickly shared with your vendors that now we are experiencing decline in the demand. So accordingly you need to send the material, right? Utilize data and analytics to make informed decision. Big data analytics will help you, and then we can predict the things. Align people with the process. This is the point which is most important in any organization. When you are going for technological intervention, you need to train them just to align them with the new technology. So if we will talk about the benefits of supply chain digitalization, better financial management. One example, inventory management. Earlier you were keeping 10 crore inventory with you at your outlet. Now you are keeping only 5 crore inventory, because you have real time data when the demand is going to come. You need not to prepare for next 15 days, 20 days or 25 days. If within 5 days you can replenish the inventory, it is sufficient enough to keep inventory for 6 or 7 days depending upon the nature of the material, right? And then from where you are getting the material, keeping all plus minus time units in your hand, you can manage that. Minimized lead time, because quickly this information is shared, or as the customer place the order, click that button, quickly it is shared with all the stakeholders. So packaging is done at the same time, courier partner is going to pick the order from the seller and it will be routed to the main distribution network, right? So that way you can minimize the lead time. So you need not to hand over the documents physically from one point to other point. Improved decision making, because this now the decisions are made on real time data, so obviously will be more closer to the reality. Increase automation wherever it is required, that I am buying routine items, butter, bread or juice, I am taking these brands, fixed quantity, right? So obviously those many things can be taken care. organization flexibility is there, because now this is with you, you can pick how much you want to, and then you have extra resources with you, right. So when you have the organization flexibility, right, to support specialization or minimize process cost. So at whatever your components you are talking about, productivity, you are talking about labor cost, that you can manage, right. Accelerate innovation, obviously this all whatever we are doing is ensuring innovation only. Right now we are just digitalizing our doing the digitalization of the, let's say, the purchase records only. Tomorrow we will go for digitalizing the production planning and control, how we are managing different brands or products or models at same production line. So this will keep on going, and then we will be fully automated at one day. End-to-end customer engagement, already I told you when you are placing the order how these e-commerce websites are engaging you, and what are the factors which are forcing. Government policies, technological advancement, globalization and complexity, and market demand and competition is forcing you. Quickly we will go through, because government is funding, some tax rebates are there, regulatory framework, they also want to push the latest technology, so that more and more industrial hubs can be set up here with more productivity, and obviously employment generation and GDP will be obviously those things will contribute towards the national income, right. Market demand and competition, because your other competitors are implementing that, they are providing the digital records, right. Now if you are shipping the product, who is taking care of the physical bill you are sending? So it is better you maintain all the bills. Maybe today I don't require that, maybe if that product is carrying warranty for 5 years, who will keep that bill for 5 years? But if my Flipkart, Amazon, or all the players from where I am buying that product, they are maintaining the the records, the digital record of those bills. So if I need to claim anything, I can easily do that. Technological advancements are there which are forcing us to implement that, so that the better decision making can be done. Internet of Things, we are collecting huge data, and then if our data model is suggesting that within next 5 days you need to maintain this machine for predictive maintenance, so anyhow we need to plan within next 5 days. Otherwise on next day, anytime it can break down, can produce the rejection, and then the loss will be higher in that term, and we cannot plan, because that will happen suddenly. Globalization and complexity, global forces are coming. If they are so productive, and obviously then their costing will be lesser, price will be lesser, their margins will be high, and your margin will be lesser but price will be high, because you are not efficient, you are not productive. So obviously customers will prefer their products, right. So what are the challenges in supply chain digitalization? The information system and data, the information you are collecting from all the touch points, some fake information will be there, right. So maybe sometimes you will try to draw some meaningful conclusion out of some information which may be very random, right. So that you need to ensure. The another thing is team training. Right now we are struggling with getting the talent for managing our warehouse management system or transportation industry or distribution network. Shortage of talent is there, and many, this is not only in India, everywhere it is, this problem is there. So obviously then training them for new skills is again big job. Change management, obviously this is the human tendency. If I'll ask you to change, the resistance will be the first that will come, why should we change, right. So that setup you need to change. So this is very beautiful thing, you can just see digitalization in healthcare. Already I have given you short picture. See, 47% wish to know more about their doctor. Doctor is knowing everything about us. They are asking the history, all the patient history in our family, and what medicines we are taking. So what are the symptoms, how we are feeling, everything. But we never know about the doctor. How many patients like this he has treated previously, and what were the results? The medicines he is prescribing, what are the side effects, right? We never go for that information. Why that information is not available? That should be there. So that we need to track that information, so that we can make the decision that if this is the problem, this doctor is the best in the industry. 38% would like to check a hospital and its medical facilities before going there. So, how you will know that? So, if you unfortunately got admitted in any of the hospital and then they are searching for the blood, any blood group, right, and then they are saying we are falling short of this blood group, can you please arrange, and all those things. So, this is, you just imagine the situation, right. So, why don't that full record is there with this hospital, these are the equipments and facilities, these are the labs testing we can do there, this blood group is available or not, these many doctors are there, right. So, that information is there, so we can make that decision well in time, right, where we need to visit. 77% would prefer online medical appointment, because we are now limited by the time. So, how we can meet the doctors, and during COVID-19 also we have seen telemedicine is again, because then if these are some of the diseases which are communicable, if you are visiting the hospital, then you can infect the others also. So, how you can get the a doctor advice through telemedicine, and they can prescribe what precautions you need to take, the medicines, and then online those medicines can be delivered at your doorstep, right. And then data records, my health record should be obviously my private documents should not be shared with anyone, right. And then big data analytics in healthcare is something is going to give fruitful results, right. And we are wearing so many medical devices, we are wearing smart watches, we are wearing wristband, oximeters, you are checking your blood level, pressure level, your oxygen level, the temperature, the sweating level, the how many steps you worked today. So, everything you are counting so that you can plan your diet, or we are maintaining record in some or other way. The another case of supply chain digitalization is case of Dell, and we have discussed in detail. So, just you can go through, I will just quickly mention some few points, right. So, what Dell did earlier, they know direct to customer model for PC sales. So, they were very happy doing that. You go to their store, you give your whatever your requirements are and configuration, and then maybe within 1 or 2 days they will deliver you. But over the time they realized this model will not work completely 100%, right. So, maybe we need to build to order is okay, but we need to go for build to stock as well, right, where we will keep some products ready, so that if any customer is in urgency, then they can go for that. So, actually they are transformed in 2017, where they realized they need to change, transform the digital supply chain to enhance supply chain transparency, predictive analytics, and automation. So, ultimately they can drive the more value for their customers, right. And you see, for developing that they need to go for digital and interconnected digital your business landscape, right. So, that business digital ecosystem they try to develop, and 3 transformation level. So, you can see actors, processes, and technology. So, they said that make the right commitment, ensure part supply, keep the customer informed about whatever is happening, and then manage supplier ecosystem, drive operational efficiency. These were the main motto for them, and you can just go through the size and scale, 25 plus manufacturing locations, 2000 service centers, 50 distribution center is a big number, 3 units shipped per second, they are shipping 3 units, 770 per distribution center, 392,000 Dell and EMC stock keeping units are there. How much they are selling, you just go through these numbers, right. And then shipping, you see 34,000 ocean containers, 220,000 orders per day, more than that, right. These are the just the figures, you can just see how they are doing global operation, right. So, we can just conclude here, the main benefit of the digitalization is you have the greater visibility. So, visibility is means obviously you have access to all the information, better decision making can be done, and if we will talk about inventory only, you can maintain little less inventory, right, because you know when the demand is going to come, and then it will provide you greater flexibility. Risk, in advance you are prepared for that, any disturbance will come, in advance you are prepared to that, right. So, company needs to invest in better integrated IT systems throughout supply chain, capabilities of analyzing big data and system based algorithm for more automated supply chain management. So this is all about digital supply chain. In the next session, we will discuss about how this digital supply chain can be combined to make more smarter supply chain, right? So we'll see what are different techniques we can implement in detail, like the IoT we discussed about, like big data analytics, we talked about machine learning, artificial intelligence, how we can use this to make better decisions. So that's all for this session. Thank you very much.